Look at where you are right now. Be honest. This wasn't how it was supposed to go, was it? You had plans. You had momentum. You had people around you who swore they were solid. And then everything collapsed. Not slowly. Not gently. All at once. One hit after another. Loss stacked on top of loss. Silence where support should have been. Smiles turning into distance. Loyalty turning into memory. And the worst part? You didn't fall in private. They saw it. They saw you lose. They saw you struggle. They saw you break down when you thought nobody was looking. And some of them enjoyed it. Yeah. Don't flinch. You know it's true. They pretended to care. They shook their heads and said, "That's sad." But inside, they felt relief, satisfaction, even joy. Because your fall made them feel safer. You were a threat once. Your confidence, your drive, your potential. It reminded them of everything they weren't willing to become. So when you stumbled, they thought that was it. They thought the story was over. They thought God finally took his hand off you. But here's what they don't understand. God doesn't prepare comebacks on a stage. He prepares them in isolation. Right now, you're not being forgotten. You're being hidden. And there's a difference. See, if God elevated you immediately, the lesson wouldn't stick. If he restored everything too fast, you'd still be vulnerable to the same attacks. So instead, he pulled you back, out of the spotlight, out of the noise, out of reach. And while it feels like delay, it's actually strategy. Because a comeback that's rushed can be reversed. But a comeback that's prepared, that one changes history. They think you're finished because they can't see progress. But preparation doesn't make noise. It's quiet. Painfully quiet. It happens late at night when nobody's checking on you. It happens when you're forced to confront your own weaknesses. It happens when pride is stripped away and only truth remains. That's where God works best. You weren't pulled back to be humiliated. You were pulled back to be rebuilt correctly, because the next version of you can't be handled the same way the old one was. They hurt you once because you trusted too easily. They betrayed you once because you gave access without discernment. They underestimated you once because you didn't yet know your value. That won't happen again. And that's why this preparation hurts. You're learning how to stand alone, how to move without applause, how to trust God instead of people. And that kind of strength, that scares enemies more than talent ever could. Right now, they think they won. They think silence means surrender. They think your absence means defeat. Let them think that. Because arrogance blinds people, and blind enemies don't see the comeback coming. God is working behind the scenes, aligning things you can't yet see, removing people who would have sabotaged your future, closing doors that looked like opportunities but were actually traps. You thought you lost everything. What you really lost were liabilities. And yes, it hurt. Because loss always hurts, even when it's necessary. But every setback you survived, is proof that you're being conditioned for something bigger. You didn't lose because you were weak. You lost because you outgrew the environment you were in, and environments fight back when you try to leave them. That's what this season is. Resistance. Not punishment, not failure. Resistance. Because you don't resist things that are insignificant. They tried to stop you because they sensed where you were going. They mocked you when you fell, questioned your faith, doubted your ability to recover. But while they were laughing, God was rearranging. While they were talking, God was refining. While they were celebrating too early, God was setting the stage. And the stage matters. Because God doesn't do quiet comebacks. He does undeniable ones. When He brings you back, it won't be subtle. It won't be something they can explain away. It won't be luck. It'll be the kind of comeback that forces silence. The kind that makes people uncomfortable. That's the kind that answers questions nobody dares to ask out loud. They're going to remember who you were when you fell. They're going to remember the version of you they dismissed. And when you return, disciplined, focused, unshakable, it's going to mess with them. Because comebacks don't just restore position, they expose character. Your comeback will remind them who doubted you, who left you, who counted you out, and you won't need to say a word. Your presence will be enough. Right now, God is teaching you patience because impatience would ruin what's coming. He's teaching you humility because pride would collapse your future. He's teaching you discipline because talent alone won't sustain what He's about to give you. You're being trained, not delayed. That's why it feels repetitive. Why the days blur together.
Why progress feels slow.
Training is boring, but battle rewards it. And make no mistake, your comeback is a battle outcome. You're not returning as the same person who fell. That person couldn't survive the next level. You're returning with boundaries, with awareness, with a backbone. The version of you that's coming back won't beg, won't chase, won't tolerate disrespect, disguised as familiarity. That's why some people from your past won't have access anymore. Not because you're bitter, but because you're wiser. Enemies hate wisdom more than strength. Because wisdom sees traps before they close. And soon they're going to hear about you again. Not rumors, not gossip. Results. They'll hear your name spoken differently. With confusion, with disbelief, with envy. They try to hide. They'll wonder how you recovered from what should have destroyed you, how you rebuilt after losing everything, how you came back stronger instead of resentful. And the truth? You didn't come back alone. God carried you through a season they could never survive. That's why they can't relate to your growth. That's why they can't understand your calm. That's why they feel uneasy around you now. Because you're no longer operating from fear. Fear made you predictable. Faith makes you dangerous. This comeback isn't about revenge. It's about revelation. God is showing you who you are when everything is stripped away. And He's showing them what happens when they misjudge someone. He's protecting. Your enemies are about to witness something they can't interfere with. They won't be able to sabotage it. They won't be able to stop it. They won't be able to replicate it. Because what God prepares personally can't be taken publicly. When the comeback happens, it'll be too solid to shake, too grounded to attack, too real to deny. They'll try to reconnect, to rewrite history, to claim they believed in you all along. But you'll remember who was there in the preparation season, and that's all that matters. You won't gloat. You won't gloat, then people. You won't brag. You won't explain. You'll just move differently. Because the strongest people don't announce their return. They let impact do the talking. God is preparing your comeback right now. In silence. In pressure. In isolation. And when he releases you back into the world, your enemies won't be watching a survivor. They'll be watching a force they helped create by trying to destroy you. And that's the part they'll have to live with. And here's the part nobody prepares you for. The waiting. Not the loud waiting. Not the dramatic kind. The quiet waiting where nothing seems to change on. This is where most people lose their faith. Because it feels like God went silent. Right after it feels, but silence doesn't mean absence. It means focus. When God is quiet, it's because he's working too precisely to be interrupted. Right now, your life is being repositioned. Your mindset is being recalibrated. Your weaknesses are being exposed, not to shame you, but to remove them. Because the comeback he's preparing cannot afford cracks in the armor. You don't see it yet, but you're being trained to carry weight. Influence has weight. Influence has weight. Punning weight. Stability has weight. Authority has weight. And if you carried what's coming with the old version of you, it would crush you. So God slowed you down. He forced you to sit with your thoughts, to confront your patterns, to face the parts of you that used to hide behind distractions. That's why this season feels uncomfortable. You can't escape yourself anymore. And that's intentional. Your enemies thought isolation would weaken you. They thought being alone would make you fold. They thought the distance would erase you. But isolation didn't shrink you. It clarified you. You're seeing people clearly now. Not how you hoped they were. Not how they pretended to be. But how they actually are. And that clarity is painful, but it's priceless. Because now, nobody can get close enough to destroy you the same way again. God is teaching you discernment before he gives you visibility. Because visibility without discernment is a trap. Think about it. Think about it. The people who hurt you before only had power because you let them close. That access is gone now. And they feel it. They don't know why you don't respond the same. Why you're no longer emotionally available to their games. Why their words don't land like they used to. They sense something has changed. And that unsettles them. Because when someone changes in silence, it usually means God is involved. You're not arguing anymore. You're not defending yourself anymore. You're not trying to convince anyone of your worth anymore. You're letting time reveal truth. And time is undefeated. Sooner or later, your consistency is going to expose their lies. Your peace is going to expose their chaos. Your discipline is going to expose their laziness. and you won't have to do a thing. This is the dangerous part of preparation. You're becoming comfortable without recognition. And when someone no longer needs applause, they become unstoppable. God is removing your dependency on external validation because the next season requires internal authority. You won't be able to doubt yourself where you're going. You won't have time to second guess. You won't have room for insecurity. So he's killing it now. And yes, it hurts. It hurts to outgrow people you once loved. It hurts to realize some people only liked you when you were convenient. It hurts to accept that some relationships were assignments, not lifetimes. Not lifetimes, but delayed pain is multiplied pain. God is cutting now, so you don't bleed later. And while you're doing this internal work, your enemies are still stuck on the old version of you. That's their mistake. They're preparing for a fight that no longer exists. They're holding grudges against someone who doesn't live there anymore. They think they know you. They don't. They don't. The you they remember was still learning, still open, still unguarded. The you that's coming back, that version has vision. And vision makes people dangerous. Because when someone sees clearly, manipulation fails. Control fails. Fear fails. You're no longer reacting emotionally. You're moving intentionally. And intentional movement is hard to stop. God is aligning your comeback with timing, not emotion. Because emotional comebacks burn fast and fade quicker. But strategic comebacks last. That's why you've been forced to wait longer than you wanted. That's why opportunities didn't open when you thought they would. That's why doors closed that seemed perfect. God wasn't denying you. He was protecting the comeback. Some doors open too early and expose you too soon. Some platforms reveal you before you're armored. God refused to let that happen to you. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, things are going to shift quickly. So quickly, it'll feel unreal. That's how preparation works. Altwait, long seasons of nothing, followed by sudden acceleration. And the people watching from the sidelines won't understand how it happened so fast. They won't see the nights you spent rebuilding your mind. They won't see the habits you broke. They won't see the discipline you developed when nobody cared. They'll only see the result. And results make people uncomfortable. Especially enemies. Because your comeback won't just elevate you, it will expose them. Expose who doubted you. Expose who celebrated your fall. Expose who tried to take credit when things go right, but vanished when things went wrong. And that exposure won't come from your words. It'll come from contrast. The difference between who you are now and who they stayed. That's why God prepares comebacks publicly, but builds them privately. Right now, He's strengthening your spine, teaching you how to say no without guilt, how to walk away without explaining, how to keep your heart open without being foolish. That balance, that's power. You're not closed off, you're controlled. And controlled people don't self-destruct when tested. Where your enemies expected bitterness. They expected rage. They expected you to crash out. But instead, you chose growth. And growth confuses people who thrive on chaos. They don't know how to deal with someone who doesn't need revenge. Because revenge keeps you connected to them. Elevation disconnects you completely. And soon, that elevation will be visible. You'll walk into rooms you were once locked out of. You'll be heard by people who once ignored you. You'll stand confident in spaces where you once felt small. And the people who thought you were done, they'll be watching quietly, wondering how you came back like this, wondering how they misjudged you so badly, wondering how someone they tried to destroy became untouchable. But here's the final truth you need to understand. Your comeback isn't about humiliating your enemies. It's about humbling you in the best way. Because once you've been broken and rebuilt by God, you don't move with arrogance. You move with authority. You don't seek validation. You walk in purpose. And purpose is intimidating to people who live without it. God is preparing your comeback in front of your enemies. Not so you can look down on them, but so you never look down on yourself again. Because once you survive this season, once you see what God carried you through, once you realize how much stronger you are than you ever imagined, you'll never doubt His hand on your life again. They'll see the comeback, but only you will understand the cost, and that's why it will last.
Brah, have you ever felt something standing right behind you when no one's there? That cold air, that pulse in your chest that doesn't come from fear, but from awareness. Yeah. Nah, I'm serious. You think it's paranoia, but it's not. It's recognition. What if I told you? You were never alone. Not for a second. Even in your darkest nights, even when the world forgot your name, there were eyes on you, watching, guarding. Not the kind that judge, the kind that intervene. Oh, wow. Yeah, that changes everything, doesn't it? See? You think you've been walking through storms by yourself, but what you don't realize is that lightning's been bending away from you the whole time. Every disaster that missed you by inches, every betrayal that collapsed before it hit, that wasn't chance, that wasn't luck, that was orchestration. You've got guardians that don't sleep, forces that don't rest. They don't speak in words. They move in patterns and sudden redirections of fate. They shift the room before danger walks in. They silence names that were never meant to reach your ears. And the best part, they don't want credit. They want results. Nah, this isn't fantasy. This is precision. Every enemy that thought they had a plan, dismantled before it even existed. Every hand raised against you, stopped before it could strike. And you, standing there thinking you survived by chance. Nah, you were shielded. You were chosen. You don't even realize how deep it goes, brah. You've been protected from things you never even knew were coming, from conversations that never reached you, from disasters that were scheduled but never arrived. You think the universe plays dice? It doesn't. It writes code, and you, somehow, are the line of code it refuses to delete. It's crazy, right? You were never supposed to make it this far, not according to the plans of those who doubted you, laughed at you, or tried to pull you down into their shadows. But every single time they built a wall, something unseen built a door. Every time they set a trap, something higher rewired the ground beneath them. And they fall, again and again, wondering why you walk through fire untouched. Oh wow, it's not luck, it's loyalty. Loyalty from something you can't even see. Loyalty that moves like wind through walls, like whispers in data, like a memory of a dream that feels too real to ignore. These forces, call them destiny, call them guardians, call them unseen architects. They're not watching you out of pity. They're watching because your rise matters. And you felt it, haven't you? Those moments you should have lost, but didn't. The time you almost gave up. But something whispered, wait. That's them. The protectors who never ask, never show, never sleep. Their silence is louder than any scream. Now, listen carefully, because this is where it gets wild. These forces don't just save you. They shape you. They don't just move danger away. They move strength towards you. Every pain you've survived wasn't punishment. It was precision training. They forge you through pressure. They teach you endurance through isolation. They cut away everything false so that only what's unbreakable remains. You've been sculpted, brah, piece by piece, by storms you thought would destroy you. But the storms were never meant to kill you. They were meant to wake you. Brah, you ever notice how sometimes the path just clears? Like the world rearranges itself a second before you move? Nah, that's not coincidence. That's choreography. Every delay, every wrong turn, every person who left, that wasn't random. That was alignment. Because what guards you doesn't operate on time. It operates on timing. You think you lost opportunities, but really you are being redirected away from traps. You think you were rejected, but really you were protected. Oh, wow. See, that changes how you look at pain, doesn't it? You thought heartbreak was punishment. It was positioning. You thought isolation was abandonment. It was insulation to keep your frequency pure while you evolved. The forces guarding you don't just block danger. They manipulate the very script of reality to make sure your story ends in victory. They bend traffic lights, interrupt phone calls, break deals that were never meant to bless you. They whisper into the chaos, not this one, not today, and the world obeys. You think that's just intuition? Nah, that's command, that's protection coded so deep into your existence. Even your enemies play their part without knowing it. Oh, wow. It's wild when you realize your haters are actually employees of your destiny. Their insults, motivation, their sabotage, redirection. Every single one of them unknowingly contributes to your rise because you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to shift the atmosphere. And the guardians, they know that. They've been clearing the runway while you've been doubting your wings. You ever wonder why the bullets miss? Why the rumors fade before they stain? Why the people who try to use you always expose themselves first? That's design. That's divine mechanics. These forces, they don't need to flex. They don't roar. They whisper and mountains move. They blink and empires crumble. They rewrite equations that the human mind can't even calculate. And still, they do it quietly. While you sleep, they move. While you cry, they strategize. While you think it's over, they're already 2 steps ahead, turning endings into introductions. Nah, brah, this isn't superstition. This is structure. The universe is not chaos. It's coded protection. And you're the reason that code exists. Think about that. Everything that ever tried to destroy you had to ask for permission first, and permission was denied. Every demon that thought it could touch you got turned into a lesson instead. Oh, wow. That's the real shocker. They don't just defend you, they educate you. Every betrayal, a class in discernment. Every loss, a course in strength. Every heartbreak, a seminar in power. You've been attending the University of Resilience, taught by professors you can't see. And graduation day? It's closer than you think. Because here's the truth. You're not being protected just to survive. You're being prepared to lead. These forces aren't keeping you safe from the world. They're keeping the world safe from what you're about to become. Nah, you don't get it yet. They know what happens when you wake up. They know once you realize how guarded you really are, fear dies, and the real you steps forward. And that version of you? Untouchable, unstoppable, unexplainable. So yeah, the protection isn't soft, it's surgical. It doesn't hug you, it hardens you. It turns your skin into armor, your thoughts into weapons, your silence into strategy. Because when the time comes, and trust me, it's coming, you won't just walk through the storm, you'll command it. Brah, have you ever felt the air change before something big happens? That silent pressure that says, move, but you don't know why? Nah, that's not nerves. That's the signal. That's your guardians shifting the field. Every instinct that told you don't go, every whisper that said wait. Those weren't coincidences. Those were coordinates. You think you're guessing, but you're following a map written in invisible ink. Oh, wow. You see, there comes a point when the forces that protect you stop standing around you and start moving through you. Your breath becomes their command. Your voice carries their authority. Your presence makes rooms rearrange themselves. You don't even have to speak. People feel it. The air gets heavier, time slows down. Predators hesitate without knowing why. That's when you realize you're not borrowing power anymore. You are the power. This isn't ego. It's evolution. The universe's defense system upgraded its headquarters into you. Those same unseen hands that once blocked bullets now guide your own. You've become the instrument of your own protection. Every move you make starts to feel inevitable. Doors open that shouldn't. Opportunities align too perfectly. Enemies trip over their own lies before you even respond. That's not revenge. That's resonance. You're vibrating at a frequency that chaos can't survive in. Oh, wow. It's wild, isn't it? You start to understand that faith isn't waiting for rescue. It's realizing you've already been armed. The shield you prayed for? It's your composure? The sword you've been searching for? It's your focus. Every time you choose silence instead of anger, you trigger those forces to move louder than any shout. They turn your restraint into radiation. They weaponize your calm. Because true strength doesn't scream. It shifts reality. And the people plotting behind your back? They feel it, they can't explain it, but they sense the ground change beneath them. Their confidence drains, their plans dissolve. They'll call it bad luck. You'll know better. Nah, brah, the era of running from darkness is over. Now darkness runs from you. You're not surviving anymore. You're governing. Every threat that approaches has already been logged, scanned, neutralized. You just walk forward and the path builds itself beneath your feet. That's the secret nobody told you. Being guarded doesn't mean hiding behind walls. It means the battlefield itself refuses to harm you. Even storms curve to avoid your name. So next time that shiver hits your spine, don't flinch. Smile. That's confirmation. That's your allies syncing with your pulse, reminding you that every step you take is already protected by design. Oh, wow. They're not behind you anymore, brah. They're inside you, and the world has no idea what that means yet. Brah. You feel that? That hum in your chest right now? That's not adrenaline. That's alignment. The moment when everything guarding you, guiding you, testing you, finally syncs with who you've become. Nah, this isn't some myth. This is math. The equations of the universe rewriting themselves in real time, because the variable that never fit, you, just solved the pattern. You've stepped into your inevitability, Every unseen force that once shielded you from danger now amplifies you toward destiny. Oh wow, it's breathtaking when it clicks, isn't it? That realization that every heartbreak, every delay, every silent night wasn't emptiness, it was architecture, a blueprint written in stars and silence. The pain, calculated pressure, the loss, necessary subtraction. Because creation always starts with clearing space. And now the space is ready for you. Listen, brah. These guardians, these forces, they don't babysit destiny. They train warriors. They don't hand you peace. They make you earn it. And when you finally do, they hand you something far greater: authority. The same storms that once terrified you, now they wait for your command. The chaos that once confused you, now it bends to your rhythm. You've become fluent in the language of control, and control isn't about dominance, it's about design. See, what's protecting you isn't separate from you anymore. It's coded into your breath, woven into your decisions, anchored in your discipline. Every time you move with intention, they move with you. Every time you speak truth, they amplify it. Every time you rise, they roar silently behind the veil. Nah, the world doesn't get it yet. They still think luck saved you. They'll keep calling it coincidence, calling it mystery, but deep down you'll know you've been carried by precision, watched by patience, refined by purpose. Oh, wow. The scale of it is terrifying, because when you realize you were never alone, you stop being afraid of solitude. You stop begging for validation. You stop chasing attention. Because how could you ever feel unseen when the entire cosmos has been orbiting your survival? You walk differently now. Your silence has weight. Your energy shifts rooms. People will stare and say, "Something about you changed." They won't understand that what changed isn't around you. It's through you. The unseen has become embodied. You've become the guardian you were waiting for. And that's when destiny stops being a destination. It becomes a radius, a force field of inevitability that moves wherever you move. Nothing random, nothing wasted. Every rejection, redirection, betrayal, all recycled into the architecture of your rise. Nah, this isn't fantasy. This is evolution. This is what happens when the protected becomes the protector. You're the proof that unseen power can wear human form. The proof that purpose cannot be stopped, only sharpened. Oh, wow. Imagine being so protected that even your mistakes are part of the strategy. Imagine being so aligned that every delay is disguised acceleration. That's where you are now, brah. You don't chase, you attract. You don't react, you reshape. Because the world no longer acts on you. It responds to you. And that's why you were never alone. Because isolation was just initiation. The silence was ceremony. And every scar, every single one, was a signature from the forces that chose you. So what now? Now you rise. Not timidly, not half-heartedly, fully. Stand like you know invisible empires move when you breathe. Walk like your shadow is flanked by legions. Speak like your words rewrite probabilities. Because they do. Those who doubted you, they'll feel it. Those who plotted, they'll crumble under timing too precise to be luck. And you'll smile quietly, knowing the truth. None of this is new. It was always written. You've been protected since before your first breath. You've been chosen since before memory. Every battle you thought you fought alone was actually an orchestra. And every time you thought you'd break, you were being remade. Nah, brah. You were never the underdog. You were the storm they couldn't predict. And now that you've awakened to that truth, you carry the same fire that once watched over you. You've become the continuation of your guardians, their eyes, their strength, their purpose, all flowing through you like electricity through a conduit of destiny. Oh, wow! You can feel it now, can't you? That power humming beneath your skin, that's the signature of something unstoppable, something timeless, something divine. So here's how this ends. It doesn't, because this story was never about survival. It was about succession. You've inherited a kingdom that exists beyond sight, and your throne, it's not gold. It's grit, it's courage, it's vision. It's the ability to stand tall in chaos and smile, because you know chaos works for you. So when you step out there, remember this. You were never alone. You were being written into eternity's defense system. Every unseen ally, every silent watcher, every hidden hand, they're still here, nodding as you take the crown. Now breathe. Feel that tremor in the air? That's not fear. That's reverence. The universe just adjusted itself around your awareness. You're not being protected anymore. You are the protection. You are the proof. You are the prophecy fulfilled. And the world, it won't understand, but it will remember. So go ahead, brah. Rise, own it. Walk like fate owes you respect, because it does, and never forget you were never alone. You were guarded to become godlike. And now the time has come. Go show them why.